Hello, beautiful strangers, and welcome back to another episode of Myth. When last we left off, we learned a little bit more about the Oz case, and I thought it was interesting. I hope you did too. As I've mentioned multiple times, I love crime, like true crime, crime drama, crime thrillers. Other crime drama, crime comedies. What is Super Troopers? I know it's a comedy. Is it really? Is it a crime comedy? Fuck, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Anyway, yeah, let's go back to modern. Yeah. Well, modern as in this game was written in 2009 times. I'm gonna harp back on that a lot. The technology bothers me. Like way more than it should. It really bothers me way more than it should. But then again, I'm that person that's watching, an 80s movie and they're doing tech shit because it takes place in the distant year of 2002. And, there's no such thing as a cell phone, which existed in the fucking 80s. Never mind. I'm going to start ranting. Nope. Moving on. Morning already? I could hear the birds chirping. I knew it had to be morning. I've got to get up. I got out of bed and headed for the living room. Used to look like a dork. I don't like his design very much. Good morning. You're up early. This person is my mother, Kyoko Tanabe. Morning. I greeted her. It's been ages since I last saw you. It's been ages since I last saw you while I was still reading the paper. Wait, was that? I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, that it was. They both have K names. That's going to be bad for me. Because my typical thing when I'm trying to figure out which character is talking is to look at like the first letter or two of the first name and the last name. And the first letter or two of the last name. So Kyoko Tanabe would be KT. Koichi Tanabe would be KT. Okay, that's not good. My father spoke up. He was sitting on the couch. I think I had a bad dream, so I got up early. Did you watch a horror movie or something? Friday night at the movies? The one where the monster comes out of the TV? Oh god, I used to know what movie that was. And they had it at some movie theaters. They actually had a dude that actually did pop through the screen. It's like famous. I can't remember. It's a 50s horror movie, I think. Maybe 60s. I think it's 50s. Was it Came from Outer Space? I don't think it was, but I don't remember. I know the movie. I've never seen it, but I know the movie, and I cannot remember the name for the life of me. Oh, that one was scary. The movie Mama was talking about really was scary. It really seemed like a monster was going to come out of the TV. I recalled changing the channel during that scene. Breakfast will be ready soon. I think the only movie that I've ever been, like, I had to stop watching because of the content of the movie, not because it was bad or I was bored, was The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. And that was not because it was scary, but because the practical effects were fucking disgusting. And I was eating something with a bunch of, like, rice and cream type stuff. This is like years and years ago. I think it was in like middle school. Yeah, I had to stop watching the movie because it was gross. I almost puked. I think that actually is probably the only time in a movie has made me almost puke. And not because I was so fucking bored or the movie was so offensively bad. I thought that was the only way to get out of it. I'm kidding. Okay, I'll be getting ready. I headed back to my room. Science, history was kind of nostalgic. Whoa. I opened up my backpack to put the textbooks away when I found the porn magazine Masahide lent me. The title was what I'd expect from Masahide, given he was kind of a pedo. I wasn't really into that stuff, though. That's a offhanded comment to make about some. Never mind. Not going to dwell on that. If I recall, he told me to read it and tell him what I thought. I'll read it if I feel like it. Because he'd be annoying if I didn't. I put the magazine into my desk's drawer and put the textbooks in my bag. I found a notebook on my bed. Introduction to Psychology. That seemed like a tough subject. Meto Tanabe was written on the cover. Huh? I read through it. It felt strange, though. Oh, good timing. Breakfast is ready. Are you my mother? What are you saying? She was right. Her name is Kyoko Tanabe, my mother. How did I know that? What is this? Do you feel sick? Meto, you better hurry up. Don't want to be late. Have a good day. What the fuck is this? Meto, what about breakfast? I opened the door without responding. What? Is it a 7-Eleven? No, whatever. Sure. Okay. I recognize those stripes anywhere. What the hell happened? I shouted. The people in the overpass turned around briefly before they began to walk forward again. There's this fucking guy yelling, fucking kids, and we're all gone. Yep, that's the city, alright. The overpass. Right, that was the overpass. Cars, convenience stores, trees on the sidewalk. I knew all of that. I knew the meaning behind all of those things. Concrete. Tokyo. That meant that this is my world? I had no choice but to accept it. It felt that way. This was the place that had been so deeply etched into me. Was this really supposed to be happening? I held back the urge to give up as I desperately thought. The entire world has changed. Could myth really do that? Could it really move me through time and space and return me to my world? That couldn't be it. What I knew about myth dictated that I hadn't fulfilled any particular condition that would cause that to happen. Which meant that this, too, was part of myth. I could feel the gazes of people passing by. I was standing there, muttering to myself, it was to be expected. Wait. Excuse me. I called out to a middle-aged man. Yes? Do you recognize me? Wait. He looked at me like I was an oddball and left. Something wasn't right. You see, he was just a passerby here. Anyone in this story has no choice but to interact with me. That went for Yuri and Shimon as well. That's why I was able to talk to him even though I had just met him. What? You can talk to anybody. Conversations in the story are capable of becoming information. Thus why the author would have the passerby communicate with me in a question-answer format. This was the most reasonable thing for a character to do. Conversation between myself and characters not in the story could easily not take place. The reason for that is because they don't have the lines prepared for them. In their case. Excuse me. I called out to an old lady sitting on a bench, seeking an answer to my question. Yes? Excuse me, sorry for asking something out of the blue, but do you know what the weather's going to be like today? It's supposed to be sunny today. Is it? Thank you. The old lady looked at me with a puzzled expression. Rather boring conversation emerged. The topic of the weather likely had nothing to do with the myth's intention or any particular foreshadowing. My theories seemed to be right, though. This was a fictional world myth was showing me. There was some degree of freedom in what the characters could say, though. I wasn't certain, but they might have their own quirks or jobs and whatnot, even. Meaning they were very close to real humans with wills of their own. Damn it, this is too much. There was no point in me getting upset, though. I had to remain calm. My first order of business was to find everyone. So long as this was inside Myth, it meant that the three of them must be here, and that they've also caught on to this oddity. I had to gather them up before something new happened. Where could they be? I had no hints at all to go off of. Ooh, a choice. It wasn't too long ago before this. Let's just, do I have any dice nearby? I don't. That's unfortunate. I do have no, I don't. That's a sticky notepad. That's not gonna flip very well. Let's see. There are 3 little lights on my desk lamp thingy. So I'm going to choose option 1 and head straight ahead. I decided to head straight. The Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden is just ahead. If I recall correctly, Yuri lived around here. I can't remember where exactly she lived, though. I did, however, visit her house a number of times. I'd likely remember where if I saw the scenery in that area. I've got to hurry. I headed down the stairs of the overpass. There was something I realized as I headed for Yuri's house. It was that the scene never changed, forcing me to move. Ever since I came to this world, I've had to move with my own 2 legs. I felt fatigue from that, too. It meant that I must have been closer to being a real person than just a character then. If that was the case, then heading for Yuri's house might have been the best course of action. I had the freedom to move as I pleased, which meant the range of my investigation was all of Tokyo or even all of Japan, perhaps maybe even overseas. As a slightly disappointing thing, I'm pretty sure both of those choices actually lead to the exact same thing. More or less. I think there's a slight difference in the scenes, but it's basically just, do you want to go this way to get to the scene, or do you want to go this way to get to the scene type of thing, if I recall correctly. If I could easily find Yuri, it'd make our chances of finding the Aguni team easier, even if we were just probing through the dark. I suddenly heard someone's faint voice coming from the park. Tanabe-sama? I recognized that voice. There was only one person who would address me that way, too. Kiki. She seemed like she was about to cry as she gazed at me. I'm glad I was alone. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. She pointed at the bench. She must have been lying on that when she came to. Even a bench was likely a foreign object to her, though. I'm sure she was uneasy. It's fine. This is my world. I'll tell you whether something's dangerous or not. Tanabe-sama's world? Fucking children yelling in the background. Not in real life, that is the game. I hate children. Anyway, yeah, because I live somewhere. Also, yeah, I definitely live somewhere where there would be Japanese children yelling. Anyway, Myth did something. That's all I can think of. Kiki's expression was stiff. The new stage Myth had presented to her was completely different from what she was used to. What could be the reason for that? I have no idea, truthfully. And that's how I honestly felt. We were no different from the kids messing around at the other side of the park. None of us had any grasp on the reason why we existed here. Hey, pretty girl. We'll play after I finish recording, I promise, and it's not going to be that much longer. I'm at least halfway through this episode, I'm sure, unless something really, very bad happens. Anyway. I want to find Yuri. I'm pretty sure she lives around here. Let's go together. Do you know where my sister is? Kiki asked me that, her expression still glum. She was such a kind girl, worrying about her sister when she was in this bizarre situation. I honestly don't know. All I know is that this is myth, so we should be drawn to each other. I was careful not to say anything that would upset her. That was the most I could do at that time. Right. Don't worry, she's tough. Right. Kit. I heard a tune all of a sudden. That's I peeked into my backpack. I saw something flashing between my textbooks and notebook. Cell phone. If it was ringing, that meant caller was Yuri. Hello? Meito? Yuri cautiously questioned me. Yuri, what's going on? Why are we back in our world? This is a new development for myth. There's no denying that. Let's meet up. Where are you? At the Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden, right by your house. We must have passed by each other. I'm at the Shinjuku station with Riri. Oh good, I'm with Kiki. Sorry, could you hang on a second? Yuri picked up Riri-san. She's safe. Okay. Kiki was nervous, as she had likely never seen a cell phone before. I made sure to keep the phone away from her as I told her that. Sorry for the wait. So, where should we meet? The diner we used to go to all the time. You remember where it is? By the garden park, right? It wasn't far away from here. Right. It's right between your house and mine. Let's meet there. All right. I'll see you soon. I hung up. Kiki seemed startled. Sorry for startling you. This is a phone. It's a device used for communication. She repeated the word to herself as though digesting my explanation. So it's like having the power of telepathy? I don't know. Just like how you don't know what a phone is, I don't know what you're talking about either. What the fuck do you not know what telepathy? Never mind. Whatever. It's quite odd. Yeah, don't worry about it too much, though. Right, I won't. Alright, let's get going so we can meet up with Yuri and Riri-san. It's a bit of a walk, though. Do you think you'll be okay? It's fine. Let's go. We left the park and headed for the diner. Are you okay? Yes. Kiki reacted to everything along the way. I understood that this was all foreign to her, but she was being a bit overdramatic. She was a very mature, though delicate girl. That, in short, was the new impression I had of her. Tanabe-sama? It's a car. It's a thing we used to move around in. It won't hurt you. That's a lie, but sure. The sound of the car's engine grew louder. I guess this was a national highway. We should be by the diner then. Don't jump out in front of a car, though. They can't just come to an immediate stop. Is that true? Yeah. So if you're on a big road, just make sure to stay on the sidewalk. You'll be safe then. Cars just don't come to an immediate stop. Cars can't. She recited that to herself. She was like a kid. It made me burst out laughing. Tanabe-sama? Sorry. Just found it funny. Kiki seemed to be trying to figure out the reason as to why I was laughing. But after a little bit, she began to laugh like I did. What is it? I was just happy. Never seen you laugh before. I guess that's true. I didn't really have much of a chance to just relax until we came here. Although this was still part of myth, the fact that time moved more steadily played a big part in that. It felt like we were just passing time leisurely instead of changing scenes rapidly. To have a peace of mind is a good thing. That in itself might be proof that space-time movement is also a good thing. I agreed with the first half of what she said. Not being able to have some peace of mind can lead to one's self-destruction. I was a good example of that. Seeing the sudden changes and people dying, along with having had the truth thrust before me, I went mad. People died right before my eyes, though. I had no intention of actually blaming myself for that reaction. The important thing to note is to be careful because that's just how this kind of world is. That's why having some peace of mind is very important. What was a Goonie like? That was something I was curious about ever since having read the Notebook. And I was finally able to ask her that because time was moving at such a leisurely pace. It's a wonderful place. It's filled with nature and the food is delicious. It's as beautiful as this world is. You think our world is beautiful? And that was surprising to me. There was no particular scenery to take in or sights to enjoy. Yes, this world has a unique beauty in it to its own, or it has a unique beauty to it. I'm curious, could you explain more? Sure. For example? She looked up at the sky as she searched for the right words. Something like music, I suppose? Music gives us courage as we can move us emotionally, but in order to truly convey those feelings, it requires instruments in tune with one another. I don't follow. Many different instruments are playing a tune here, be that the means you communicate with others or the means of transportation. All of those things are beautiful products that the people of your world have created. Couldn't you say that? I guess that's true. I understood what she was getting at, and that might have actually been the case. It's just something I haven't really taken notice of because I'm so accustomed to this world. That's the world, and that the world is filled with many things is a good thing. I'd be happy if, in the future, Mitakami could be like this world where people and other things can coexist. I had no intention of arguing with her, but I should probably explain the reality of this world to her. You're glorifying this world just a tad. Ow, Pop. There are still plenty of bad things here, like car accidents and whatnot. That's true for our world as well. That's why I believe it's beautiful. She was still casting a fearful gaze at the cars passing by, though. I couldn't help but wryly smile to myself. She seemed to notice that, though. I need to get more accustomed to this world, I think, she added. And I think that is where I'm going to end off this episode. Next time, we're going to have a conversation with, well, the cast in a diner in Meto, and at least to some extent, Yuri's time. Mostly Meto's time, because Yuri's time, well, we've seen her in 2016, and this is 2002? Supposed to be, I think. I don't remember. Something like that, 2002, 2003, something like that. Ow, Pop. But yeah, next time, a conversation with the cast. Well, I hope to see you all then.